wealth, fame, power. Gold Roger, the king of the pirates, obtained this and everything else the world had to offer, and his dying words drove countless souls to the seas. You want my treasure? You can have it. I left everything I gathered together in one place. Now you just have to find it. These words lured men to the Grand Line, pursuing dreams greater than they ever dared to imagine. This is the time known as the Great Pirate Era, and the One Piece Netflix that I just want to talk about is outstanding. This is how you adapt a live action anything, whether it's a manga, a comic, a novel. I mean, the majority of your movies in the history of cinema have been adapted from some kind of written source material. So this is nothing really new. And so I'm happy to see that Netflix was able to really bring to life the live action of One Piece. So I'm going to discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly. So stay tuned. And so, when it comes to just adaptations as a general whole, you're lucky to even have it half right, like 50% right. I mean, you're lucky to even have that. Usually the studio will do its own thing and not really respect the source material at all. Which are, sorry, I had a cough there. So with One Piece, the good that I would like to bring out from this review is that, and by the way, there are going to be some potential spoilers here. I loved how they introduced the bounties, the graphics on the bounties and the editing. It was just so great. It gave each pirate like its own miniature spotlight without overshining the main characters. They just had enough of the spotlight to introduce who they are, how insanely evil they are, or insanely skilled they are. Mihawk was probably, I think, the best one to be introduced. Just a few slashes that he's known for. Oh, so great. So I loved the bounty intros. The sword fight choreography was quite outstanding, especially the flashback with Zoro and his best friend. I can't remember what her name was, but for those who have watched One Piece anime or read the manga, you know who I'm talking about. And so, just the flashbacks as a general whole, usually you got to be careful with flashbacks because then you'll distract from the main story. But with this series, they did enough of it where it still told the story of that main character without overpowering the main storyline. So it was actually great. It was well done, very well timed. I can tell that they really put a lot of hours in making those decisions in the flashback. And then the visual effects, I'd say, were pretty good for its adaptation. Could they have been better? Sure, it could have been better, but considering the budget, and they only budgeted for 8 episodes, I think from a business point of view, they need to make sure that there's going to be a good following on this, because any kind of form of literature, a studio is not going to gamble on unless it has a large following. And One Piece has had a large following for over 2 decades. And so I think they did what they had to do just to make sure it got made, and so that way it can have a standing chance for a second season, which, to me, I think there's going to be a second season. I haven't seen any official news yet from the time of recording this video, but I see a second season coming. There's such a big following on One Piece, it's not going to go away. Even when the anime finally ends its episodes and when the manga ends its chapters, there is so much source material to pull from that could last maybe 10 seasons, 15 seasons live action. Although that's going to be up to Netflix and the studio execs. So let's cross our fingers for a wonderful sunset on this grand journey of the One Piece live action. And then the wardrobe was quite on par with the source material. I mean, I actually liked the marine outfits. Like, wow, that is directly from the anime. Oh, wow. I mean, I last year, like last summer, I took half of the second half of 2022 and maybe the quarter of 2023, watching all the episodes. And while it was quite a chore and adventure of itself, no pun intended on One Piece, but I mean, it was worth it. I could see why it has such popularity. You know, you got to understand that what these main characters have in common is they have a dream that they want to fulfill. And I think it appeals to your general audience because we all have dreams of some sort. Whether it's be the greatest athlete in the world, it be the greatest writer in the world, the greatest YouTuber, the greatest whatever you want to name. It's all about achieving dreams. And that you never know if you completed your dream until you go out and try. And so I see why there's such a big appeal with the show and the source material. And I love the banter between Sanji and Zoro. I love the Moss Head comment. Oh man, that was great. Great stuff. I loved it. And then I noticed that they even expanded on certain scenes that you didn't really get to see in both the manga and the anime. I mainly watched a lot of the anime. I just kind of began reading some of the manga, at least the early chapters of the manga, just to compare and contrast between what they put in the anime and then, of course, the live action. And so I must say I liked on how they added certain things and actually made certain things better. Particularly with Craig, the pirate Craig's introduction. I felt that he was a wasted character anyway in the anime. The only thing he had going for him was just really ridiculous machine gunnery, and that was about it. It's like, really? I mean, nothing really wrong with that, but it's like, to me, I think he was a throwaway character to begin with, so I'm kind of glad that Mihawk just sliced him up and called it a day. So I did enjoy that. Now, here are some things that I do want to say that are not necessarily bad or horrible, but maybe some opportunities for the future. So I noticed that there were, overall I had great cinematography, as in like the visualization and on how they use certain coloring schemes in the photography, the cinematography, to set the proper mood and the proper moment that you're trying to tell the visual story on. However, I felt that between the fight with Koro and Luffy, I felt that the dark cinematography might have been a little too much for what they were trying to achieve. And I understand what they were trying to achieve with that darkened cinematography for that whole scene there, but I felt that Kuro has like this super fast speed, and there's like a moment there where he's like literally whispering in his ear, and he could have just sliced Luffy a little bit more or stabbed him. I mean, you could have still had Luffy live a little bit, but I felt that there wasn't enough of a struggle between Luffy and Kuro. I felt that it was a one and done type of thing. Now, considering that these episodes are around an hour each, and I understand that there's some budget that you have to commit to make sure that you film what you need, get it done, and move on to the next episode. I understand that, but I felt that there was more opportunity where Luffy could have struggled just a little bit. And the dark cinematography didn't really give it justice. So either they could have just lightened up on the dark cinematography, or they should have made Luffy struggle a little bit more with Kuro. So those are my bad and ugly side of the review. So I felt that there was more, I think there could have been a better opportunity to either lighten up the cinematography, or if you're going to do a dark cinematography like that, at least make it more of a struggle between Kuro and Luffy. And then overall, just it's a great live action. I'm happy that this got made, and I have higher expectations for season 2, season 3, and so on and so forth. I hope you finish all your episodes if you haven't finished, or if you just started. Hopefully I didn't spoil too much. Until next time, same hands-kicking content, same Nerdy Bear reactions. Oh yeah!
With me, you'll never drown. I'm a great mouth. Mouth.
Hey, do I have scurvy? Because suddenly, I'm weak in the knees.
Must have eaten gum fruit, cause my heart bounces every time I see you.
Are you an octopus? Because you occupy my thoughts.
What do you say we rename this boat the Going Married?
Let's go. Did you just feel that? My timbers just shivered when I saw you.
Your beauty, like a feast for the eyes. You know, I'm just a chef, but ready to spice up your life.
If you want to see some treasure, I'll show you my chest.
Are you a tangerine? Because I find you appealing.
Call me Roger, because if you went on a date with me, I'd be very jolly.